everyone, thanks so much for joining me. Today I have Luis Batista here, and I'm really excited to speak with him. Luis, for those who may not be as familiar with you and what you do you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, right. My name is Luis Batista. I am a naval architect. I am Chief and Executive Officer of Vera Navis. We're the ship design company from Lisbon. Yeah, we're engaged here in ShipConstructor since 2009, so it's been a long way since then.
What do you currently have on the go? What types of projects are you working on?
We're kind of hands full for a while. Yeah, we're now doing a cement carrier, a 124-meter ship. That ship is meant to operate in Canada. It's being designed between ourselves and a shipyard in the Netherlands. Built in China, then it's going to be delivered in Canada. So it's quite a big project. We are doing concept, basic and detailed design, and we are managing to develop the project in such a way we are making a complete 3D model from scratch from the beginning. So a few years ago this would be completely impossible, but now we are using ShipConstructor altogether with Express Marine, and those tools, they are kind of engaged and complementary. So we are able to, from day one, almost day one, start to use ShipConstructor. So that gives a good advantage. How is that reflected on reality? It's tangible. I look into my weight calculations that I made on second, third week of the project. And then I look now 6 months further on the project, and it's quite stable. In the past, I would be relying on a lot of spreadsheets to control the weight on the structures. But within these, coalition of forces and tools, it goes rather smooth. Then we are designing a patrol vessel together with a Fastener in Germany. Also a very challenging project in terms of infrastructure of the project. A lot of requirements. Yeah, and basically that's the big projects we have in hand. We're also designing now in 2024 the first project we're doing for Navy, in this case for the Portuguese Navy. It's a shipbuilding GRP, so it's not the natural, I would say, software or material where you would use ShipConstructor, but because of the capabilities that we have on piping, HVAC, cable trays, we are using the tools. So yeah, we're kind of making a connection between Rhino and Navis Works and ShipConstructor to blend it all together.
So obviously you're using a 3D product model, and a lot of people would say, hey, that's the digital twin. And it's kind of a buzzword in the industry, this digital twin idea. What's your perspective? What's your relationship with what you call a digital twin, and how do you approach it?
Well, it's a big word in the industry. Everyone uses it in a kind of its own way. Well, there are some persons or in the industry which, when they say digital twin, for them, from their standpoint of view, it's already what we do in ShipConstructor. So we're kind of, okay, if you're happy with this, you're happy with this type of model, for them already checks all the points. We have specified the 3D model for a company a couple of months ago, and the idea would be to create a model which would mingle with operation. So starting from a 3D model for production, and then transforming it into something which could be manageable for operation. So that's a giant. So it's a lot of layers of information, one on top of the other. So my point of view is that there's not, I would say, a complete definition of the term, and it's still being used differently in different perspectives.
Yeah.
So I think we need a little bit of more time and years to see where those will mature, maybe in a normative and not just in a buzzword. So, yeah. But what we do in ShipConstructor, it's very close to a complete 3D model, digital twin model.
From the perspective of a 3D model, what would be different from one for production versus one for operations? What's different ultimately?
Yeah, what's different is the type of information you need to manage. Imagine, we are designing now a ship for the Portuguese Navy. It has a lot of automation, and that automation will affect opening, closing valves, collecting information, signals from the engines, from the switchboards. In detail design, when you're building a model as complex as a ShipConstructor, you don't go there to, well, switchboard is switchboard. It doesn't have all the entities in order that it could be fed into a digital model from the operational point of view could be used. But from other perspectives, not the operational model, it can be used. So I think it depends a little bit from what is your standpoint of view. You want to have a digital model? Yes. To do what? Well, to mimic this kind of operations. Yeah, in ShipConstructor we can build that information because the data sets are there. But the custom detailed design product doesn't fit in every corner of what is the requirements for a digital twin.
Jumping to maybe some other technologies, I know AR and VR are also very kind of buzzwordy in the industry. Are you using them for any kind of client review? Are you exploring that idea at all?
Yeah. We, a couple of years ago, it was a requirement from one of our clients to build one of those models. So we actually don't use it in the office because it's a bit difficult to do it in practical engineering tasks. But for review, it's very interesting. So yeah, I think it needs a little bit more of work, I would say, to be used as a common, widespread tool in the industry. What you can review is of course, with a level of integration quite high, but for practical purposes, I think it's still a little bit far ahead, I would say. I see people using tablets in the construction site, integrating themselves on the model. I think that is more somehow practical than a full immersion. You know? Yeah. And you also can, when you are navigating on the models, we had people which they were getting seasick. Because your notion of gravity is kind of lost.
Yeah.
So we had people sitting and they were kind of, sometimes you need to take the helmet out because they were getting sick. So yeah, but it's something which we can definitely support, and we made it a couple of demo projects with ShipConstructor. And our Norwegian clients, they still ask us for a complete binded version for they can navigate.
Are clients in general kind of asking for more of this stuff, more digital information, more kind of the use of more innovations? Is this something that's client-driven primarily?
No, it's not client-driven. I think it's the software which takes the lead. So I think it's the guys in SSI and other companies, but I speak about SSI, which I know better. They open the path. It's not the industry itself. The industry has needs, but I think you need to have people with a little bit of vision inside the the software companies, which kind of open the game. You know, otherwise, I think in the industry they'll be always very pragmatic and not open for big transformations. And what happened in ShipConstructor back in 2006, 2007, 2008, I suspect that was a shipyard decision. It was the programmers which thought to make a DD-ROM database based on SQL servers. Yeah, and that opened up a lot of path for the shipyards to keep progressing. In some specific points, of course, their input is primal, but they're not the main force here. I think it's a software programmers and the guys which have the vision and implement those things.
Looking ahead towards the next year and maybe the next 5 years, what's ahead for your company, and what are you looking forward to, both maybe from a business perspective or a technology perspective?
From business perspective, we are now more than 30 engineers in the company, so we're seeking for larger projects. So we adopted that strategy 1 or 2 years ago, and now we're seeing the results. So our processes now are kind of stabilizing our teams, picking up big projects with volume where we can really be useful. So yeah, that's the direction we are taking. Also, from an organizational point of view, we are restructuring a lot of our processes internally and kind of manning up for being a more structured company. In terms of business, we unfortunately we are, I would say, the only company in Portugal, so we don't have any competition, but also we don't have any market, so we cannot bring people from other companies to help us. So we need to grow people inside and take them abroad into our company. At the moment, we are more and more looking to the military market. We are now developing a project for the Portuguese Navy. We have the full scope concept, basic, detailed design, and we are looking forward to get more of those projects. We have a tight relation with them, a trust relationship with them, and I think that next coming years will be increasing our leverage on that market.
And then are you looking at any new technologies or wanting to explore some other aspects from an innovation perspective or anything like that?
Definitely, yeah. We in Vera Navis we were always kind of tech savvy, so yeah, we developed some tools internally using ShipConstructor as the basis, because you have a lot of data to explore, and ShipConstructor has worked very consistently in making that information available. And now also, rather than just being available, that can be operated with scripts, and so you can already do a lot of things with the information and program on that basis. In the beginning, 2008, 2009, we already had the needs, so we need to kind of open our paths by ourselves. So we designed tools to supplement some parts of the process where the software was not really going into that direction. And we open up that paths, so we are kind of keep struggling and programming and developing some parts of the software which need to be more customized. So yeah, we're going to keep doing that. Also, we're seeing a lot of opportunities on the AI market, because I am completely amazed for what I can do with AI. And I think we're going to try to bring these two worlds together. We have 15 years of projects inside ShipConstructor. We never used any other software, so we have a huge database of data. And we start to see data analytic engineers coming to us to ask for a position in Vera Navis, which is completely, something unimaginable. And we're seeing how we can exploit that data with, of course, having access to SQL Server database items, and also with AI. So we are kind of seeing how it goes, how we can integrate these two worlds to help us in design work.
What would your pipe dream be? Like, if you could do this with AI, with your data, what would you be absolutely thrilled by? What's your goal, ideally?
I think, yeah, it's a two-step process. First process, we would need to have the OCX integration with ShipConstructor, and not just with ShipConstructor, with all the other design softwares. That step needs to be made. That is, we need to find a way that the structure of a ship is captured in a specific format which sees engineering entities which can be related to rules and requirements for structural calculation. So that would be, I think, the first step. Try to find a way that in the ShipConstructor model, identifying what is a primary structure, secondary structure, kind of tagging each individual item, for it can be analyzed under rule-based design code. So that would allow us to understand this is a ship, it complies or not with the rules. So that people inside ShipConstructor world already doing this, like Nick Danessa made a project with a BV and OCX. So I think that's what we need to go. And then after that is done, then the AI is to exploit that data, to try to generate a ship which is compliant with the rules, and with all the data set, try to make preliminary arrangements where we can start a little bit ahead on the design. So that's what we're seeing. And I think it's inevitable. There's no other way. This will go in this direction. OCX, artificial intelligence, and some work or some specific work inside our environment will disappear. The pure detail design guy that we had, or we still have, that work, from my point of view, will disappear. We'll have everything merged together, concept, basic, and detail design. That's what we have in our company, and we've seen that that's more and more the direction. There's no specific boundaries on the design. You start from day one doing detail design.
Wow.
And supported with the calculations at the same time. So I hope it will be in 5, 6, 10 years, but it's very close. It's very close.
Yeah, it's certainly a very exciting
Yeah.
future and a strong vision and goal to aim towards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. It was great to get your perspective and wishing you good luck in the next year.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.